Here's why New Year's resolution don't work. When you have your dopamine receptors jammed completely because of the extremely high stimulus we are sending to our brains because of the social media and video games and porn and alcohol and weed and all that kind of stuff, the receptors shrink. And then when you send it the stimulus of a normal behavior that's supposed to propel you towards your goal, you don't feel the reward that you're supposed to feel. The receptor cannot register the stimulus, and that behavior becomes suffering. So, in order to get your New Year's resolution and to achieve them, you need to reset the dopamine receptors. The dopamine receptors should look something like this. And if you are overstimulated, like we all are with the social media and the phones beeping at us and like 4K, 8K video games, Netflix and all that kind of stuff, alongside with the lab food and sugar and all, like those simply shrink because the stimulus is like at super high intensity, and then the brain sends a message, let's shrink those down those receptors because we don't need them as big. And then when we start normal behaviors that are supposed to propel us toward our goals, that's when shit hits the fan. So what you need to do instead, and what worked tremendously well for me, is creating an anti-New Year's resolution, which is basically determining what have you been doing in the past, because where you are right now, that is the consequence of the things that you did in the past. And if you're not happy at the current situation, then the actions or inactions from the past led you here. So when you understand what those were and that got you to this point, then you will know that if you keep repeating those, you will get the same outcomes in the future. That's like 1000%. And then the second thing is that's how we understand what is the self-sabotaging behavior. Self-sabotage. And that's how we pinpoint the self-sabotaging behaviors to the T. So we don't have that question in mind, like, what is the self-sabotage? Am I self-sabotaging myself? So you come up with a list, and you take a pen and paper, and you create a list where you outline answer the question, what do I need to do to never hit my New Year's resolution goal? What are the things? And then you list out something along the lines of, I need to make sure that I'm drinking heavily on Friday and Saturday. I need to make sure that I never go to bed and never wake up at the same time. I need to sure that I never have 7 to 8 hours of good night's sleep. I need to sure that I'm never eating real food and I'm always on sugar and my mood is constantly swinging like crazy and I cannot focus on one single thing for more than 7 seconds. I need to support all that and supplement it with at least 4 hours of scrolling social media, short videos like TikTok or shorts on YouTube. And then I need to make sure that I'm playing video games, a lot of them. And I switch from video game to video game to video game. Then if I could be popping some crystal, opening some cars, that would be even better. Then I need to occasionally smoke weed. And of course, I need to watch porn at least 7 times per week or 3 times per day. And if you list out what I just said, with a list like that, whenever you go to take out your phone and start scrolling mindlessly, you'll know that you're self-sabotaging. Whenever you start playing video games and popping crystals, you'll know that you're self-sabotaging. Whenever you pop a porn on your web browser, you'll know that you're self-sabotaging. If you get hammered on weekends, you will know. You won't have to question yourself if this is a self-sabotage or if I'm doing this or that or the other. Those are crazy high stimulus. All of those behaviors are a stimulus of like 100 plus. Normal behaviors around 20. And normal behaviors need the size of dopamine receptors like this. These crazy ones need it like this. So when you do that, when you understand what are the behaviors that got you here, and if you're not happy with where you are right now, like regardless if it's like how you look, if it's weight, if it's health, if it's relationship, if you don't have a partner, if you don't have friends, like whatever you were doing in the past that led you here, or it is your bank account. So you know those. If you keep doing the same things that got you here, you will get the same results next year. You will have the same resolution on like in 2026 and 2027 and so on. And then you need to understand what are the things that I make sure that I never ever hit my goals. And then when you have those two, it's super, like the clarity is through the roof. Now you are like, there is no question, you know, there is no like, I'm not like in this limbo between I don't know and maybe it's this and maybe it's that, maybe it's the feeling. No, if you're doing those, you're self-sabotaging. And from those two, when you outline those two, something marvelous will be born. It's going to be pain and discomfort. And you'll look quote unquote look yourself in the mirror. You won't need to be in front of a mirror, but you will be understanding that, hey, all of my behaviors led me to this. That's feeling of like crazy discomfort, and you'll feel like a physical pain in your stomach. Just thinking about it, I get the feeling. So the pain comes there, and from that pain, what happens from that pain? Well, goals are born from here. From this pain, you set goals. From this pain, you get never again. Enough is enough. You know, and enough is enough and never again. That's been labeled by society as negative feelings, but negative feelings are immensely, immensely powerful. Immensely powerful. Those can serve you so well that those can propel you to achieve any kind of goal you set for yourself. Negative feelings are great starters. So you will use at the very beginning good old discipline, and this one, discomfort, anger. And those will be your fuel. And then you will go on to chase that goal. That's how you go. So you create an anti-New Year's resolution, and that's how you go around achieving the New Year's resolution. Take this exercise, do it in your free time. It's going to serve you well. And if you want to see the full-blown video that explains this in a lot of details, I'm going to pop it in one of the corners so you can watch it. It's this thing just a lot more in depth.